Hi, it's me again. Anyway, in this video, I want to talk about false religion and a true religion and what's the difference between those two. I know religion, of all the topics, I chose to talk about religion. But man, I didn't call this video calling BS on religion because not all facets of religion is BS, and I just want to dissect all the way to what is true religion, what is meant by the word religion, um, what went wrong with religions in general, and so on. But anyway, before we go into this, the axioms of, I don't know, dissection and observation, I always like to use there are certain laws. Consciousness is lawful. Consciousness is lawful. There's sometimes there are these camps, proverbial camps. One camp says, "Oh, we don't know anything. We don't know anything. Everything's just happening. Whoa, isn't it awesome?" And it's a kumbaya camp. It's nice, it's innocent, it's beautiful, but it's missing the other side of the coin, because there is something to be known. The reason people go into this camp like, "Oh, we don't know anything," is because they dealt with the belief systems, and not knowing anything is better than having a belief system, right? So they're free of their belief system. So it's a bit of a phase, and maybe it's an important one, to be in that innocent state without the belief system, running your life and seeing what happens if you don't believe in things, and live life spontaneously. So anyway, so there's the first camp, right? But very quickly you can learn that hey, that's just one side of the coin, and there's some things to be known that is not a belief system. There's some things to be known that is not a belief system, because there are laws in the universe, right? And is law a belief system? I mean, if I've experienced the law in action, then you discover the truth. That's the thing. You get rid of the belief system. Belief system is invitation. All belief systems are invitations. There's a lot more than invitation, which I want to go into. But they're all really invitations to rid of them, to find the truth, right? Through your own experience. But once you find that truth through your own experience, and you see that it's persistent, it's there, it's always there, it's a law, then knowing that there are things in the world that are lawful, there are things in the consciousness that are lawful, makes life much easier to navigate. You don't need a belief system. It's another word for it is wisdom. That's why I say that both camps need to meet in the middle. The camp of kumbaya is like, "Oh, we don't know anything, it's great," and another camp like, "Oh, we can know everything," also not so great. Anyway, you put those two together because there's some things that we can know, find out, and then the rest of it you cannot know. Because if you try to know these things, you try to put in a rigid system, and that unknown is the unfoldment of spontaneity, and it's meant to be unknown. So we have to be comfortable with what can there be known, and comfortable with something that is unknown. Comfortable with the known, comfortable with the known, comfortable with the truth, and comfortable with the love. Because love is like that. Love is not something that can be controlled, not something that you can know. It's intrinsically spontaneous. This is the difference between the science and the art, right? But they both exist, and they both are needed in order for us to live and to play this game in a much better way. Because let's be honest, like, what we're trying to do here is to learn how to play this game, so it's fun and not suffering, right? So anyway, let's go into religion. First of all, what do we see? What's happening in the world, right? And with the religions. Okay, so you see there are groups of people. There's one supposedly priest, telling other people what to believe. Other people believe it, and they worship it, right? So you see this happening. This is happening. Then you can ask a question. Okay, why do we do that? Like, what is this? What it's all about? Why is this behavior? Why do these people believe that there's God, for example, right? And the belief in God is not God. It's just a belief in God. It's an image. But the people create an image because an image is a belief system. Image and belief system is another word for it. Is easier to cope with the reality, with the unknown, right? So you get the belief system. There's so there's got to be something out there that's looking out for me, and there you go. But there's a problem with this because look, what is an image of God? What is belief in God? It's not God. Belief in God is not God, right? If you have like two neurons in your brain connected and they're talking to each other, I think that's enough to figure it out. It's just the most basic logic that the belief in God is not God. So what is not God? And as like one of your neurons would tell you, the devil, And yeah, exactly. Every belief system is the devil, So like, ooh, the devil. But it's nothing to be afraid of. But every belief system is the devil. And I want to show you why this is true. The reason they start believing in God is because there's certain sense of insecurity. Again, we're going back to the same thing. There's fear, and then there's pain, right? Instead of looking at it, going to this direction, figuring it out, if is in fact something like that exists through your own introspection, through your own journey, within self-observation and whatnot, you take a belief system and now it becomes like a pacifier, right? It's just something to suck on, like, because then if you don't, like, you start crying. So it's better to have something to suck on. But there is a problem with this. Look what happens. You cry, right? Like, if somebody takes away your idea of God or insults it or criticizes it, whatever, the person obviously gets hurt. Where there's hurt, there's pain. Where there's pain, there's fear. Where there's fear, there's anger. Where there's anger, there's revenge. There's all sorts. You see where I'm going with this? This is the many wars that's been started and many atrocities been committed. It's because of this. This is a false religion. This is not a religion at all. It's a belief system. Now, I'm not knocking, like, the use of this belief system is to handle your fears, right? But you're not really handling it. You're just coping with it. I don't know why the fuck, pardon my French, why it rolls out this way. But nobody really gains it in the end. Nobody gains it in the end, So anyway, you see that the person believing in God can very quickly turn into a very nasty individual because of that pain and fear, and he needs to have that image. Then, of course, another fallacy is that there's a group of people and everybody's told the same thing, right? You got to believe in that. The problem with that is that if you cast everybody in one lump group, you're casting them as something that is not individual, not unique. And if people do not feel unique, there's a sense of competition, right? If you do not actually figure yourself out by yourself through the observation that you are in fact unique, you're going to be always feeling insecure around other people, always competing. and all. Then you create all sorts of dramas between the families and siblings and all that stuff. All that shit is happening because you were lumped in one group, and like you gotta climb on the top, right, of each other, even though neither of these people are actually following their true soul's desire, their true path. This is why they're, if you feel insecure, if you always need to compete with other people, it's because you gotta go inside and figure out what the hell is going on there. You gotta find out your own uniqueness. Once you find out your own uniqueness, you realize that, oh, you can be lumped in one group, you know, whether it's Christianity, Muslim, doesn't matter. You find it immediately. It's like, oh, you can't lump me in one group. That's not what I find within myself. I'm unique and I cannot be replaced. And if you're unique and you cannot be replaced, then what is there to compete about? You just need to be you, yourself, and then sense of insecurity around other people goes away. And usually, of course, the belonging to the groups goes away. Because if the group is about belief system, run. You know? But anyway, I want to get to the point. Okay. So there's two problems: the belief system, and of course, lumping all the people in one group. So speaking of the belief systems, of course, there's all sorts of belief systems. That's what you shouldn't believe. You shouldn't believe in the chakra systems. You shouldn't believe in everything. Somebody tells you like, oh, look at this. This is a really beautiful. Like, oh, you start believing. So then if you start believing, again, it's an image. It's imagination. It's an illusion. It's not real. You've got to watch what's happening right here, right now, in your life, you know, and deal with that. And then you'll figure it out. And by the way, if you do this, then you're going to develop your own little map of what's happening. Not because somebody told you to follow this map, you figure out your own map through venturing through the journey, so to speak. So, so going down to this path, if they say there's 7 devils, right? 7 major belief systems, and these 7 major belief systems cast little ones like beliefs. Belief system cast the belief. Belief system is a devil. Belief is a demon. Okay. Now, of course, you can see a lot of places where that's true, right? If somebody believes in God, and then it starts creating all sorts of little beliefs about it, you know, and then of course, these are all demons. Why there are demons? Because there are beliefs. And the word demon, and there's demon and a daimon. Daimon? I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly, but the demon is something that does things automatically. Everything that stems from the belief system or a devil or a demon is automatic. It's not alive. It's artificial. You know what I'm saying? It's completely artificial. It's mechanistic. This is why you see everything, you know, what pisses you off the most in the world is everything is mechanized and systematic and everything, and then you're trying to live in this world and everything's treating you like a machine, and you're like, ouch, you know, what is this? Always frustrating, you know, all these systems, because you're not meant to be part of this, man. You're not meant to be part of this. But anyway, besides the point. Belief systems, right? So let's get to it. Why belief systems? What happens with the belief system? You have vanity, right? And I want to talk about like vanity and the virtue. People talking about vanity and the virtue. And there's one way is just to be vain, pretend, and another one is to fake the virtue. You know, just be vain or fake the virtue. They're both vanities. They're both vanities because they both stem from belief system. They both, you know, neither of them is true. Because the belief system has not been destroyed and the truth has not been figured out. So let's just talk about something specific, right? Okay. Let's just take this idea as an example that there are indeed 7 devils and 7 major belief systems that hide 7 major wounds, distortions of the soul. Let's just take this as a belief, and then destroy it. But anyway, let's look at this, right? So they say, you can observe this in your life, right? Gluttony and temperance, right? The gluttony and temperance, let's say it's associated with the first chakra, whatever, doesn't matter, right? But it's just like, do you see that in your life? Like if you're overeating, that's gluttony. You can see like, oh yeah, I eat more than I need. Okay, there's gluttony. And then do you see other people trying to control it, and that's temperance. And so there's a lot of people like, oh, using willpower, I'm not gonna eat it, but the whole emotional body is just like, give me food, you know, that's a demon. Give me food, mom. So anyway, so that's why a lot of people go on diets, you know, try and control it. And then there's like willpower, look how fucking strong I am, I want to eat it, but I'm not going to. And then, sure enough, they go back. They cannot hold, the willpower will never hold the belief system in check. It will always lose in the end, always. And the more, oh my God, like the, anyway, so never need to enforce these things. Just go directly in the middle, what's in between the gluttony and the temperance. It's just eating exactly as your body needs. And how do you do that? You're just facing the emotion that happens when, you know, when you have the urge to eat something, right? And you clearly see that your body does not need it. Sit with it, you know? Sit with it and see, like, what is this thing? And you watch it, you see, like, oh my God, it's moving. My body wants to do these things. Like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna not be able to eat this pie, you know, like that. But if you stay with it, right? But you don't control it. You say like, no, I'm not gonna eat it. No, because you're still not facing anything. You face this thing. You don't control it. You face this thing. You let it be. You watch it. That demon, that belief. You watch it, and you stay with it, and again, you know, you let it come out. Let it do what it wants to do. You may even have the emotions and all such, like you don't even know what's gonna come out. But if it comes out, and then as you process it, then you say like, okay, do I want to eat anything now? No, after, you know, you cry for 2 hours, you're not gonna say that I'm hungry. But anyway, let's just take it as an example. That particular one has dissolved, right? So now you don't have that need, not because you're controlling it, because you dissolved it. It's gone forever. It's gone forever. You see, and you may have quite a few of those. And then there's a big one, of course. Like I said, the belief, and there is a big one. And then that's done with the first chakra, so to speak, right? Your body will tell you how much it needs and what it needs. And sometimes your body will tell you, you know, like this fasting, this intermittent fasting kind of thing. Again, you're trying to simulate what should happen naturally. Your body should tell you sometimes, for example, may say, you know, I'm not hungry. What the fuck, you know, I haven't had anything all day and I'm not hungry. Okay, good, go with it, you know. And you may have that natural intermittent fasting happening to you because you dealt with the issues. You're not controlling anything. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. It could be tons of pies all around you. You're not hungry for it because that's gone. Then moving on to the lust and chastity, right? Again, you can see that too, like the drive for lust for body or whatever, you know. And then you can see one side and another. So one is just indulging it, and another one is controlling it, chastity, you know. And it's like, well, I'm just gonna be a celibate, a horny celibate. You see what I mean? You can't just decide to be a celibate because you're gonna be a horny celibate. You're gonna try to control it. You're not gonna be able to, because belief system always wins over the willpower. And then you're gonna go out there and get some hookers or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So there's something in between. Again, you know, you don't need to control it, and you don't need to just let it go and act on it. There's something in between, and you can again, when it happens, when that drive happens, you stay with it. It's energy fusion, whatever you want to call it, but like it's just putting an attention, the point in the circle, putting an attention and awareness upon it. I don't know why nobody is doing, but this is how you live your life, to be honest. You go through life, there is a challenge, and this is how you deal with the challenge, then you move on. This is how it's meant to be. Anyway, and of course, there's an argument of how many of these little beliefs before you get to the boss belief system, how many of these demons that you have to dissolve before you get to. Every demon turns into an angel, and every devil turns into an archangel, if you will, right? When you do that, which, by the way, these are just so-called thought forms. A belief system is a thought form, and the demon is a thought, and again, it's just a fancy word to describe something that is existing naturally. And the archangel is a state. Okay, let's just be honest. There's no little archangel in the sky flying around. It's a state of consciousness, and that's why you can get into all states of consciousness. People may say, like, well, in what spirit are you moving, right? Like, you can move in the spirit of evil, and you can move in the spirit of good. You can move in the spirit of the devil, which is basically you're automatically doing something and being controlled by it. And once you transmute it, it turns into an archangel. Archangel is a state, and then you start feeling that state in whatever that state may be. And there's all sorts of states, like all sorts of archangels and also sorts of devils, right? There's you can be in these states, and you can be in these states, right? And the game is like that, right? The game is like that. Is not to overstay your welcome too much in a belief system, not to overstay your welcome with the devil too much, because like I said before, that thing is not intrinsically bad, because it's automated. Something that's automated is useful, but as you move on, transcend this, and you access a natural state that is there and is not moving you anymore, right? Then you can move it. Okay, now you basically, instead of being marionette and a muppet for these forces, for these forces, whatever, now you can control it. You see what I'm saying? And then it can become a skill. That's why it's an instrument, right? Like